Good morning to those of you who found parking spaces. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, soccer season's back on. It is what it is. Through every mountain you've brought me. Good morning, those of you who are logging on. Buenos dias. Welcome on this beautiful first Sunday of September. Hard to believe it's already September. It's a great day. We're happy to have Ed with us. Ed came down for his 50th birthday, which was yesterday. And Inez's birthday was this week too. Happy birthday, Inez. Anybody else have a birthday this week? When was your birthday this week? 29th?
September 9th.
Oh, September. Oh, yours is coming up. Oh, okay, gotcha. Well, somebody say something good about Inez. It was her birthday. Anybody got anything good to say? I already told her she was cute today. I love her energy. What'd you say? Looking young as ever?
That's right.
Looking younger. So you're going backwards. You got a Benjamin Button thing going on there. Somebody else got something good to say about Inez? What?
She's joyful.
Always joyful.
I was going to say always smiling.
How many years did you teach?
16.
Were you that upbeat in the classroom? Did you teach high school? What grade? All of them. What subject did you teach? All of them?
All of them. Wherever they stuck me, they don't give you.
Right. Yeah, come on in. Anybody else got something good to say about Inez for her birthday? All right. So, hey, y'all, come in. Somebody tell me something good about Ed on his 50th. Hey, come in.
Good morning.
He's faithful. He's what? He's a sweet. You're missing people saying stuff about you.
Generous beyond.
He's generous. He's a sweetheart. He's faithful. Somebody else got something about Ed? He's what?
He's awesome.
He's awesome. Somebody else? Always what?
I said, girl.
These straight people up in here don't know nothing about that. They don't know nothing about no bears. Now he was saying to his partners, I want to go somewhere for his birthday, and my birthday. I think he's still recovering from Scotland's trip. He's out, and he wouldn't make any plans, so he's like, I'm out. I'm in Atlanta. So somebody else got something good to say about Eduardo? Ed's been part of our meditation community for some years now. It's been to just about all of them. He lives in Knoxville. So I don't know. Do I have to pay for it, or what? Do we have to pay royalties if you sing just one line of Happy Birthday? You, Chandra, give us the Stevie Wonder one.
Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday.
Oh, I like that. Y'all branched off into harmony. All right, it's all you can sing. You'll have to pay royalties. Today's going to be a very good day. I've had a extremely challenging week, and that, to me, is always a turbulence that creates teachable moments. And I turned those things into parables. And Ken and I had a very interesting conversation this morning, and we've already been emotional and felt the Spirit because he's going through his own. It's life, and we're getting through it, and I have some insight about that. So it's going to be a good day. It's going to be a good day. Even it's been a challenge to. My mom's been a challenge this week. Not her fault. It's just where she is on her journey. But even when I left, I said, we're leaving. We're going. Ken's got a new car. And I said, we're going to his new car. And she says, we'll have a divine service, which is not what she usually says. And so I said, all right, you know what? We will. So it's a good day. A good day doesn't mean everything's perfect. Do you understand? And we're learning that. And before I pray and let y'all sit down, come on in. When we finished up our conversation this morning, I said, I tell you what, as God is my witness, all this stuff that I teach better be true. And do you know what I mean? It's like I want it to be true. It's like the scene in Last Temptation of Christ. I've talked about it before, but when Harvey Keitel plays Paul, and he's walking through. You know, in that movie, he doesn't go to the cross. He marries Mary Magdalene. It's a dream sequence. It's not what people thought it was. But anyway, he passes Paul, and Paul's preaching the resurrection. Jesus was crucified, and so Jesus takes him aside and says, "That didn't happen. I didn't die on the cross." And Paul said, I love this line. He said, "These people need a resurrected Jesus." He said, "I'm going to preach a resurrection if I have to kill you myself and bring you up out of the grave." I was like, "You go, Harvey Keitel, Paul." So anyway, today is a beautiful day. We are high vibrational. God is in this place. We are very connected. We are in the flow. Everyone is here by divine appointment. Today is a day unlike any other day. It's unprecedented. We embrace all of it. We do not categorize anything through the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Everything is through the tree of life. So whatever has challenged our comfort zone this week is actually a blessing in disguise. It's moving us out of comfortable places and pressing us into a better place. So we recognize that and we embrace it. We wrestle with the angel or with God or with our higher self, whatever it was that Jacob was wrestling with. We wrestle with that entity as well, and we do not let it go until it blesses us. Yes. We will not let anything that has happened in our lives this week go until it blesses us. Even if we limp away from the fight as Jacob did, we will fight all night long if we have to, but we are not leaving without a blessing. We are not leaving without a blessing. We are not leaving without a blessing. Let's do the Lord's Prayer. Our Father who art in heaven, presence of divine love and light that lives within us and within all of life, hallowed be thy name. We invoke the powerful creative nature of all that is sacred and holy. Thy kingdom come. We embrace the healing essence that is the kingdom of heaven within us. Thy will be done. Don't leave me hanging. I'm in the middle of the Lord's Prayer. I'm so sorry. Thy will be done. We accept our greatest good as we align with our divine nature, on earth as it is in heaven, knowing that the affairs of our lives reflect our evolving consciousness. Give us this day our daily bread. Each day we receive great blessings from within and throughout all the activities of our lives. And forgive us. We accept the divine nature of all things and all people, including ourselves, as we move away from judgment and toward greater awareness of divine presence. And lead us not into temptation. We shall be vigilant in expressing and experiencing the oneness with all life. But deliver us from evil as we are learning to live without fault-finding and suffering. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever and ever. For we accept the consciousness of divine perfection with all its power and glory, right here, right now, and forever. Amen, and so it is. Tell somebody this. Nobody I'd rather sit next to than you. last week I hope nobody forgot and drove all the way. Anybody forget and drive here last Sunday? No. We were at the Movement in Conyers last week, and I can't imagine how it could have been any better. It was just such a great day. It was Judah's birthday, and he invited me to speak, and I felt like I had a word. I shared something I'd never shared before, so that was. Did y'all hear that? Did you hear it? Yeah. I've gotten a lot of good feedback about it, and Ken even shared. He said that because he passes by there every morning on the way to work, and he said that when he drives by, he said, "I really feel a vibration. I'm supposed to share my story." So he did, and he got some really good feedback about that, and. So the best part for me was my today's Grandparents' Day, by the way. There is a Grandparents' Day, and it's the first time my granddaughter Raphael's heard me preach, and Debbie held her on the front row, and she listened attentively and said amen in all the right places, and got filled with the Holy Ghost. It was wonderful. So those of you grandparents that didn't hear from your grandchildren, write them and tell them it's Grandparents' Day and make them feel guilty, as they should. It's a terrible picture of me, but cute of her. And she's a sweetheart. So that was great. Thank you for all of you who came out for that. Our outreach this month is ending the National Alliance to End Homelessness. We've never supported them before, but I just saw them come up on a lot of lists of charities that are well vetted, and homelessness is definitely an issue, not just in Atlanta, but everywhere. And so any little bit you can do to help is always positive. Also, remember, we've got Meditation Weekend number 27. 27, wow. Coming up in Blue Ridge, Georgia, on October 25th and 26th. And we've done one in Blue Ridge before, but never in the fall. So Blue Ridge is beautiful. It's a really quaint little town. We're believing it's going to work out somehow. The train ride they do is already booked, so people book it far in advance. But we're just believing something will work out. They do a little train ride that's really cool. So, and you know what? If it doesn't work out, then something better. I mean, there's no disappointment. If something doesn't work out, then something else better. That's all a disappointment is. It's like, here comes something better. That. All right, I want to do a different kind of meditation today. I got some issues I'm dealing with. As I said, Ken's got some issues he's dealing with. Anybody else got any issues you're dealing with? Anything that you're not necessarily worried about, but it's preoccupying your mind. You're thinking about it, maybe overthinking it. Is that? I want us to today on this meditation. We're going to bring the lights down, and we're going to play some music over the water that's running. And but today I don't want you to close your eyes. I mean, you can close your eyes, but today I want us to do about 5 minutes of just, I don't want you to think about it. I don't want you to worry about it. I don't even want you to care about it. I want you to be like detached from it. I mean, I want you to feel an extreme, like, I don't care what happens. I mean, have you ever been in that situation where in a relationship or with a job or with a thing, you're like, I don't care. I'm out. I don't care. I don't care what happens. I want you to feel that kind of detachment and resign. I mean, it'd be too much trouble. I nearly thought about just collecting all your phones and just psychologically put them away and just like, I don't even want you to be close to responsibility. The only thing we're going to do as a person, I just want you to do this. Just shake it off. Like, here's all the stuff I'm dealing with. I don't even care. He said, Bishop, we're putting it in God's hands. No, I don't even want you to care about it enough to put it in God's hands. Do you understand what I'm saying? This is different than saying, God's sitting, God's going to work it out. This is like, I don't care. I don't care what happens. I want you to be like drunk.
I'm gonna need glasses.
Say what?
I said I'm gonna need glasses on.
I'm talking about, I'm not advocating inebriation, but I'm talking about that place in drinking where you're like, I don't care. I mean, and no, without judgment, that's why people drink. It's like, I'm about 2 more drinks away from, I don't care. And I'm not saying it's a good thing, I'm saying I understand. I understand why people have happy hour at the end of a work day, because you're like, I don't want to think about this anymore. So you can close your eyes if you want to, but I just want you to visualize. And if you're in recovery, I'm not trying to get you off the wagon, but I just want you to think about how you would feel if you were like on your 3rd margarita right now. Or whatever your drink of choice is. And for maybe you it's not alcohol. It might be for you just a walk in the country, or just getting out of putting the top down. So I just want us to sit it here for about 5 minutes, and just, you don't have a mortgage, you don't have bills to pay, you don't have a job. You love your kids, but right now you don't even have kids. You don't have any of their drama. And I'm not saying my kids don't have any drama. That's not my issue. I'm just saying it's just nothing. There's nothing going on in your house that you got to fix. You don't need to return. There's nobody's email you need to return. You just don't care. You don't care what your boss thinks. You don't care if your parents approve. You don't care about your decisions. Bishop was a good decision. I don't even want you to care. I don't even want you to care that all things are going to work together for good. It doesn't even matter. Now, with that atmosphere, just take a deep breath. We're just going to relax. The people in this room, the people listening to this, people watching this, have no responsibilities, no attachments, no decisions to make. And just sit with that freedom right now. Just sit with that detachment. No deadline. You don't care who's in the White House. You don't care what's happening with government. You don't care. You don't care. Bishop, I should care. Not right now. Not right now. You don't care. Right now, you don't care what anybody thinks about you. It doesn't matter. Anybody could say to you right now, I just think you're wonderful. You're like, fine, I don't care. I don't care what you think. That's how disconnected I want you to feel from everything right now. Just let yourself float. You don't care about any impression you're making. You don't care about what you look like today. Gained 10 pounds this week, so what? I don't care. If you want to do some deep breathing, that's fine. But right now, meditation doesn't even matter. Doesn't matter. sit however you're comfortable. Just be here. So somebody tell me, just presenting that that possibility to you, what do you think about it? You think I lost my mind? Does it feel good just not care for a minute? Like, I don't care. Somebody can say, well, we're praying about it. Like, I don't care. Pray if you want to. I don't care. I don't care what happens. Is that extreme?
Less stress. First thing that came to mind, disconnect to reconnect.
Speak up.
The first thing that came to mind is you disconnect to reconnect.
Reboot. Yep. Excellent observation. If you didn't hear what Ed said, it's like disconnect to reconnect. It's like rebooting. I'm not telling you not to pray about a situation, but even when you're praying about it, you're nearly caring about it too much. I'm talking about something, and I know, I've always said neutrality is dangerous. I'm just saying right now, just be neutral. Live on the edge. Somebody else, what's your observation about just not caring for a minute?
But you get, when you disconnect and when you do that, you get the information and the answers that you need. We've been, and this message has been coming to Joe and I for the past week from different entities. Neighbor just came over yesterday, just said basically those same things.
Interesting.
So, and when you stop concentrating and over obsessing about it, you just get answers to even the simplest things that you have been just toiling over. You just get it.
I think you're exactly right, because when you stay on that same frequency of trying to solve it, you don't open up to any new information. Somebody else? What's your observation? What?
I was just thinking with the thought of not caring, you release the idea of scaring yourself so much about things that will probably never happen.
Buddy.
We just scare ourselves with those ideas.
You better preach.
Overthinking, overanalyzing. So
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What?
It removes all the extra pieces off the table so that you can see and focus on the actual problem.
Yeah. Yeah. Honestly, I think I'm not taking anything away from our regular meditation and whatever you do. But like even this morning, I went out on the porch and I just sat there. I didn't pray because I started to pray over my day and I started doing the things and I thought, I'm just going to sit here. I drink a cup of coffee and I listen to the birds sing, but I thought this is the most powerful thing I can do right now is to not care what happens. What'd you say? Right. It's like I felt like praying about it, it's applying too much energy to it. I'm just, what?
It brings us back to childlike.
Yeah.
And that's what happened.
Because you didn't
That's what
care.
God wants us. Wants us.
Unless you become like a child, you can't enter the kingdom. Did you, no matter what your childhood was like, were you worried about stuff? No. Think about the stuff that you cared about. When's Christmas going to get here? But like, excellent point. Fred?
Just let go of everything else. I'm connected with I am.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
It's the best kind of self-care that we can do.
Well, that's what I was going. That's where I was going. I was going to say, I think this would be something you should incorporate in your every day. I'm going to sit here for 5 minutes, and I'm not going to give a rat's behind what happens with anybody. I don't care. I love you. I don't care. I don't care what happens to you. I don't care what happens to my friends. I don't care who hasn't returned my call. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. How are we going to pay these bills? I don't care. I don't care. What if we lose this house? I don't care. I mean, I really think you need to make some space for that in your day to say, I do not care what happens.
I wanted to say hello to what BJ was saying, because I was thinking the same thing, and I've been obsessing over a couple of things a lot, like for weeks now.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I finally, when you started this, I finally just said, I don't care. And you know what? A couple of solutions came into my brain.
Well, that's what he's saying.
Right, exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
Exactly.
I was thinking exactly, and I'm thinking, why am I carrying all this myself? I can get help, but I'm a person who does things. I don't ask for help. And I said, but I can ask for help. So I don't have to carry this all by myself.
Right.
That was awesome. Thank you. Really was.
Well, thank you for hearing this, because I know it sounds like counterintuitive, like, wait a minute, we're supposed to be intentional. Yeah, but there's two sides to that coin. You know what I mean? Somebody else, what's your observation about just not caring for a few minutes? What?
So I had my eyes open, normally have them closed, but I was looking at that picture and just observing just beauty, all the different veins. I was thinking about nothing else but how beautiful everything is, everything's not one dimensional, it's all over the place, but it's beautiful.
As you're saying that, I'm thinking about Jesus saying, "Consider the lilies." It's like, just go look at a flower. Is it going to teach me something? No, not necessarily. It might just be, man, it's a pretty flower. Somebody else? What's your observation about just not caring?
Can I say one more?
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to pause to respond instead of reacting.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
And mine was the same scenario. It was almost like I had to go back as a child.
Yeah.
That was the only way I could. I was just trying to think. I was like, when was it that it didn't matter?
Right.
I didn't care. And it was just so freeing that I didn't have that anymore. But I had to go back there.
Yeah.
Because everything else was a struggle to get through.
Yeah. It's like somebody, might have been Rutherford this week, somebody posted, or Kevin, maybe both of them, a meme that says becoming an adult was the worst decision I ever made. And there's a truth to that. You know?
My kids always say, I hate adults.
Yeah. Yeah. Aren't there days that
Yes.
you do?
Yes.
Like, but I'm grateful for my job. I know, of course you are. Don't you just hate it sometimes?
But that's being real.
Right. What?
This morning when
It had a good run.
But fall, yeah, it did great. Fall's coming, and it's a whole new beauty.
Yeah.
So that you're not losing, you're getting another thing.
Anybody else? Do you not care for a few minutes? Are you there yet? You, yes, I'm talking to you. Who else is sitting there?
I couldn't see for the light.
I was saying the same thing in me.
Or do I need to?
When you
Do
said
I
shake
need?
it off, it just felt like, you just spit it out. Just release it, let it go.
All right. What?
He's just not gonna care forever.
It's interesting. As soon as we did that, y'all started getting revelation immediately. Which is what you're saying about connecting to the I am. Okay, I think this was a teachable moment. Anybody else?
Waste a lot of time stressing.
Well, that's what he was saying.
Yeah, big time.
Obsessing over stuff that's probably not going to happen. Yeah. And most of the stuff, if it was going to happen, there's so much out of your control anyway. Like you can worry about it, but it's like, I have to do that even this morning because I get up and go through my little ritual, and then I always turn on the news and I'm checking my mail and everything, and I, of course, listening because I care about my country. And then at a certain point, I thought, please turn this, because you're going to sit here and listen to everything they're saying, and there's just not a freaking thing you can do about any of it. So,
But I never thought about this. I never thought about intentionally not caring.
radically not caring.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Even the people you love the most, I love you, but I don't care right now. I don't even care about you. I don't even care about me. I mean, I know that's extreme, but it's like, I don't care.
But it's a relief. It's free. Yeah, it is.
You know?
You feel weightless. Yeah.
I just felt that when you said it. Yeah. I think it's something, I think you need to incorporate into your day. Like, this is my time. Like, don't talk to me right now because I don't care about you right now. I don't care what happens to you. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like, what about you? Like, what about him? All right. Anybody else? Got anything you want to say?
Free your mind, the rest will follow.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's why I like to be outside so much, because maybe I'm connected to my child.
And you're probably not thinking that much. You're just like being. I love that. It takes a while to look at the ocean until you finally realize I'm not thinking about anything. It's something about just the rhythm of the ocean. But even what I'm talking about is even more than that. I'm just saying, I just think your brain needs to just truly not care. For, like, I don't have a plan. I just carefree. All right. Let's get out of it before we just become reprobates. We'll be like, you didn't show up for work tomorrow. I don't care about that job. We took it too far. Rein it back in. All right. Thanks, Charles. Let's breathe the lights back up. That was very interesting. Something very interesting just happened. And I appreciate all of your insights on that. Very, very cool. All right. Bishop, I feel like you had a word for me. I don't care.
That'll freak.
All right. Welcome to the podcast. I would normally applaud the podcast people, but I don't care. I don't care if you're listening to this or not. No, I do. I care. Metron people, give the podcast people a welcome. All right. We speak into this atmosphere. We say, let there be light. Last month, I finished what I believed was a 3-part series. I still felt like there was more to say about it. Beth posted something. She says, I'm looking forward to part 4. So I didn't think there was going to be a part 4, but maybe there will be. And so other people said, yes, please, there needs to be. This topic is like the Pacific Ocean. You know what I mean? You get out in a little rowboat and you start realizing, wow, this thing's really, it's big and it's deep. There's parts of this I can't even see. There's parts of this ocean they can't even find the bottom to. And that's what this feels like. So this may end today. I don't know. But we are going to do a part 4. So I speak in this atmosphere and say, let there be light. The title is In a Beginning, Vibrating to Create the Reality You Want. We're going to go back to Genesis 1:1. I'm looking at it in the Concordant literal Old Testament. This is Genesis 1, verses 1 through 3. More closely translated from the Hebrew. In, not the, but in a beginning, created by the Alueim, the Elohim, were the heavens and the earth, yet the earth became a chaos and vacant, and darkness was on the surface of the submerged chaos. Yet the spirit of the Alueim is vibrating, present tense, over the surface of the water, and saying is the Alueim, or the Elohim, the Allah, become light, and it is becoming light. And we've talked about this. If you haven't heard the previous 3, go back and listen to them. The difference between in the beginning and in a beginning, or they're light years apart from each other. In the beginning is fundamentalism. This is the way it is. This is the creation account. That's why you've got people that are willing to fight over this, saying that, the Bible says in the beginning God created the heavens and the earth, so they don't think dinosaurs existed. They think the earth is only 6,000 years old because that's when the Judeo-Christian narrative began. And clearly, if you just read Genesis, even without Revelation, clearly there was somebody here before Adam and Eve, because it says that there was a place called Nod, and that's where Cain's wife came from. I mean, it's not, you don't even need to be a Hebrew scholar. You just read it. When assuming Moses wrote this, it's poetic. In a beginning implies this is one way it could have happened, or here's an observation. Here's my take on it. Here's how I see it. When Chandra covers somebody else's song, like I was listening to her at Christmas, she had recorded a couple of Christmases ago, My Favorite Things from Sound of Music. Well, when an artist covers a song, they interpret it. The point of interpreting a song means I'm not trying to imitate the person who wrote. They've already recorded that. I'm not even trying to do their arrangement. I'm saying, here's the melody line and the lyrics, but here's in a beginning. And that's why sometimes you hear somebody cover a song and you hear something you never heard before, because you think, oh wow, they put a different inflection on that word or whatever. That's what makes an artist like Chandra. I always felt like Marshall Ruffin was very good about interpreting, because he would sing a song I'd heard lots of times, and it would make me hear it for the first time. Because I think, he's interpreting the song. An interpretation means this is not the way it has to be sung. You can slow it down. You can speed it up. You can change the chord progression. You can You can have flexibility with the lyrics. I mean, there's infinite possibilities. And in the beginning means, no, this is the way it is. And, when it comes to music, I'm kind of a purist. Like if there's a song I really like, I don't like to hear the live version of it because I'm used to, like, this is the part where he does that key change that I like, and he didn't do it on that. So but that doesn't hurt anybody. That's just the way I like to hear it. It becomes hurtful when somebody says this is the way God is and there's no wiggle room on it at all. Doesn't allow for revelation. When Jesus said, if you see me, you've seen the Father, that's an That's not a the. Which is why the Pharisees couldn't handle it. They were like, no, this is the way. Don't deconstruct our belief system. This is the way we believe. Deconstruction's uncomfortable. I came out of a Pentecostal tradition. You see this thing more in black church culture where there's a call and response, where the minister says something. And that happened a lot in our church growing up. Not as much, but definitely there was a rhythm of, he says this and we say amen. And it's good, but people nearly get in a rhythm where they're not even listening to what the guy's saying. It's just, he's really worked up about it. So, do you know what I mean? It's like, that's the joke about the guy that went here, the country preacher, and he says, well, how did that man preach? And he said, he's real good. And the guy said, well, what did he preach about? He said, I don't know, but he sure was again it. Meaning, I don't know what he said, but whatever it was, he was fired up about it. And there's a part too that you are caught up in the emotion of a thing. That's not necessarily bad, unless it becomes white noise and now you're not really listening. What is that guy saying? Because you gotta, like I've noticed, I don't need a lot of amen and stuff. It's fine. I mean, it's fine, but that's kind of not my rhythm. I've noticed when I'm really hitting a nerve and people are deeply listening to me, they get very quiet. I mean, they nearly become motionless. Like I can tell when, like, oh, I'm in the zone, because I've had people tell me before, Bishop, you got to a point where you were talking, I felt like there was nobody else in it but just you and me. It's like nearly everybody in my peripheral vision disappeared and you were just talking directly to me. That's what the anointing does. Whew.
That's good.
So we've talked a lot about that. In a beginning is also in the Greek. It's not just in the Hebrew. Let's look at, this is John 1:1 in the Jonathan Mitchell New Testament. And it says, within a beginning there was the Logos. Genesis 1:1 is in the beginning God created. John 1:1 is in the beginning was the Word. Within a beginning there was the Logos, the Word, the thought, the collection of thoughts, the idea, the reason, the discourse, the communication, the verbal expression. And the Logos, the idea, the thought, the expression, the Word was facing or directed and moving toward or continued being face to face with God. And the Logos, the Word, the thought, the idea, the reason, the expression, continued being God, or in beginning the collected and put side by side thoughts continued in progressive existence, and the collected and put side by side thoughts continued being a progression to God. Or in beginning the Word continued being, then the Word was being directed toward God, and yet the Word was being God. In English it becomes, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. Okay. That to me was a very important missing piece, because I still believe the Bible is authoritative. Do you understand? I think it has to be rightly divided, but I like having a scripture that buttresses what I want. And that might surprise some people. Well, you're so out of the box. No, I still like I still need some point of reference. I need some verse that sort of confirms what I was thinking. Okay? I want it all to make sense. Do you know what I mean? It makes me uncomfortable when some of my contemporaries just go out in extreme and just say, you know, everything we believed was BS and there's no God. I'm like, no, that's not what I believe. My definitions have been re-examined. But yeah, I don't want to live in a world without a higher power. I need divinity. But not to the point that it becomes fundamentalism, because then to me, you lose the divinity. Divinity has a spontaneity to it. You know, divinity is alive. God is alive. And I don't think you can really say you know God if you're not open to new ideas. And if you're afraid somebody's going to present you with something that's going to make your belief system fall, then I think your belief system's kind of a house of cards anyway. Let me show you where I'm going with this, because I want to get in the deep end. This is a quote by this individual. It says, each person that you see is their own unique universe, their own unique reality. Even though you all appear to be in the same room, on the same world, you're not. You're all in your own unique realities. You're just matching one another's frequencies sufficiently enough to create the illusion of all being on the same planet, but that's not the case. It's a shared consensus reality experience that you're all giving rise to. I've said that for years. I've said if there's, 8 billion people on the planet, some give or take, if there's that many, that there's 8 billion different worldviews. And when I saw this quote, it was accompanied by this picture that I found very captivating. You got that picture with the hula hoops? It showed all these kids. It doesn't translate all this well on the screen, but all these kids are in hula hoops, but in the hula hoop, each one has there's a different universe. And a picture's worth 1,000 words. On my computer, it was a little more colorful than that, but it was really, I just found it provocative and compelling. The idea that people can be so close to each other, but be having a completely different experience. I shared this with you before, but when I was in high school, we didn't have middle school, we had sub-freshmen. So Nancy and I were friends 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th grade. I took her to the senior prom. And, you know, we still talk on Facebook. And a few years ago, I went to a Decatur High School football game, and she was there, and we were sitting there reminiscing. I was in the band, she was a cheerleader, and we were pointing out different things. Hey, do you remember that? And you know, it's that kind of bonding experience you have with someone who, you know, 5 years of your life now is nothing, but when you're that young, 5 years of your life is significant. And she started telling me when we were in 8th grade, her father one day just disappeared from the family and they never saw him again. And it wasn't like a missing persons thing, like he left them. And I remember, because as she was telling me that, I said, Nancy, how did I had no idea you were going through that. She said, I just didn't want to talk about it. I said, I know, but I saw you every morning in homeroom. I mean, it's not like we didn't talk. I had no idea. And she said, it's going to make me emotional. I was thinking about it. She said, you know, the thing that really hurt the worst, you know, when you're a kid and especially in my generation, when you first started buying records, your record player that was your everything. And she said, you know what, the most painful part of it to me is just he even took my stereo and all my records. And as an adult, whatever, but as like, damn, in eighth, like the eighth grader in me just felt that so deeply, because I remember buying my first albums when you'd say, and that was your little domain. Like, don't touch my record player. You know what I mean? But especially in our generation, that was your tunes was your everything. And when she told me that, I said, how could I see you every day and have no idea that was going on? I mean, I was in the ministry back then. I had a big Bible study. I had more people on my 8th grade Bible study than this group. This is like the smallest group I've ever talked to. And she said, it's fine. She said, I just would have never thought to tell you. But I said, I know, but God, it just makes me rethink so many things. Like how many mornings was I sitting next to you in a desk and you're dealing with that and people around you have no idea. That's not what I'm really talking about, but I'm trying to make my point that the person sitting next to you right now is not necessarily having the same experience you're having. You've got to remember that. This is why, especially back during the George Floyd season, I had a lot of white people get very upset with me, people I've known for years, that I said this, but I said it many times and I stand by it. I said, people of color, don't listen to me for a minute. I'm talking to white people right now. When you say, I don't even see color, I understand what you're saying. It sounds good in theory, and you can quote Dr. King, do not judge a man by the color of his skin. I understand what you're saying. In theory, in a perfect world, yes. First of all, it's not true. You do see color. But seeing color does not mean you're a bigot. If I'm recounting a story to you, it's very difficult if I say, yeah, this black guy at the gas station was talking to me. It has nothing to do with the story. Sometimes I just make myself say, this guy. But it's just easy to do. And black people, you do it too. You say, this white lady, it's Kroger, said, you just do. You just do. It's not a good thing or a bad thing. It's just the way, you do. I do it with gay people. Yeah, this gay guy came up and said, like, I'm not homophobic. I'm just like, yeah, I feel like you should know that part of the story. I don't do it all the time, but it's even as open-minded as I am. Yes, you do. But I said it's deeper than that. When you say I don't even see color, you're saying I'm oblivious to your experience. You're saying you've had the same experience I have, and that's not true. It doesn't mean you have to sit and talk about slavery all day. It just means you're saying, I recognize your view of everything, patriotism, everything, may be different from mine. It's okay. Yours doesn't have to be right for mine to be wrong. It just means you've had a different experience. Women have had a different experience than men have had. You don't believe it, men. You try telling your wife that labor pains are psychosomatic. You could easily be
strangled.
Well, a certain part of you may be. You know what I mean? It's like that's just something. No, you don't have a dog in this fight. You don't get to have an opinion about PMS or whatever. That's not. No. You talk about your guy things. You don't know. The reason this is not a teaching on empathy. What I'm saying to you is everybody around you is in a beginning. That's why I'm the only person I've ever heard teach on it. But when Proverbs says, bring up a child in the way he should go, you go back and read the Hebrew. The Amplified Bible says, according to his individual gift or bent. The way I work out certain situations with my father is I have to think, in all fairness, he had no idea what to do with you. Doesn't mean he's a bad person. It just means your definition of masculinity and being a guy is very different from his. And he didn't come from a generation that was taught to be open-minded. You're like, no, this is the way, this is what you do. Single people have to deal with it all the time. And if you're single, you might, maybe after you get to a certain age, you don't hear, but weren't there years that every time you get to a family reunion, you seeing anybody, you dating anybody, y'all getting married? It's like the people are pressured into coupling. I felt it last week when I came home. Mom said, how was the service? I said, it was real good, and Judah doesn't have a girlfriend. Because I know that's the next. Do you think he'll ever get? Well, Mom, I don't know. He may never get married. I don't know. I don't have an opinion. I've bonded with every girl he's dated over the years. I don't care. It's fine. It's his life. Let me show you this next quote. Matt Kahn says this. It's like a human body is the animated reality of a parallel dimension. So where you see a body, you see a different dimension. We are all in the same space, sharing the same moment, but we're all perceiving a different world. We're not all in the same world at all. We just share space, thinking we are. We're literally all in our own world. You know what this makes me think of? Romans 12. You are the body of Christ, but members in particular. The eye cannot say to the hand, I don't need you. I mean, that was a huge revelation that Paul had. He said Christ is a body. When you think about in medicine, how many specialists there are. If you got a broken toe, you don't go to an ophthalmologist. Why? Because they speak a different language. And the more medicine becomes more sophisticated, that person's been trained in that thing. They don't know about that other body part. We are all connected, but we are all different. That's why Paul says, what does he say? If the whole body were an eye, where would the hearing be? Because your eye, I mean, you think about what you just have on your head, they're very different functions. Connected, different. To this day, when I'm driving through an intersection or something, I turn that radio down. Because I just need to pay attention, because what I see and what I hear are very in competition with one another. All right, these are just the hors d'oeuvres. I haven't even gotten to the. All right. Dolores Cannon says this. You are constantly moving in and out of dimensions and you don't even realize it. All right. This is what I want to talk about. In a beginning implies a multiverse. And that's what I talked about in the previous installments of this. Instead of trying to change yourself, change the channel, because there's a version of you somewhere in the multiverse that can rise to that occasion. Couple of anecdotes I want to share with you. And yes, I'm sure I've shared them before. Maybe 2 or 3. This is the most important thing I'm going to say today, because I think this is really true. I think we're going in and out of dimensions all the time and don't realize it. How many times have I told you when we were in Manhattan when Jonah was 5. We lost him on the subway. You know the story. The strangest part of that story, when it happened, I didn't know what to do. I just got on the train. And what do I do? Where do I start looking? If you know anything about the subway system in New York, it's like spaghetti under the ground. Like where do you begin to look for a 5-year-old? And I was trying not to panic, and I was standing there on the platform. I was praying in the Spirit out loud. As I was standing there, somebody walks up and hands me the card and says, "Don't try to look for your son. You'll never find him." I mean, that's how fast things happen. I was like, "I don't need your card." I mean, it was one of the scariest moments of my life. And so I get on the subway. It stops at the next stop. And I thought, what do I do? I'm just going with my instincts. So I just jumped off. And I'm looking on the platform. I don't see him. I run upstairs. Jonah's standing there holding this woman's hand. I burst into tears, hugged him, and I stood up and I said, "What happened?" She said, "I saw this little boy on the train and I thought, a kid this age shouldn't be on a subway by himself," which is scary in itself, because why, he left with her. He could have left with anybody. The reason I'm retelling it, and this is not an embellishment. Like when I tell you about Zephyr in the elevator, he didn't disappear. But this woman, I thanked her profusely. I stooped down to hug him again. She was completely dematerialized. It wasn't like she said, "Y'all have got this under control." I looked around. God is my witness. There was no sign of her. I don't know how she disappeared that quickly. Was she a guardian angel? I don't know. She could have been a woman in another dimension. As I'm saying this, you're going to start remembering some things that have happened to you. And you're going to go, "You know what? Maybe that's what it was," because just for a minute, I was in a different dimension. I've shared this with you before, but I don't think I've really explained to you what happened here. I was with a friend of mine. We were in Gatlinburg, Tennessee. You know how they've got those like there's a main place of shops and businesses, a main drag, and then there's like an alleyway where people park behind it. And you park perpendicular to this brick wall. We were parked. I was backing out, and you have very little room to back out. I mean, it's like, this is back before sensors and rear cameras. So I'm trying to see, to back out and not hit something. All of a sudden, like a bat out of hell, this car is driving down the alley like top speed. And even if he had seen us, just if he had slammed on brakes, he was still going to run into it. That's how, it's like, I don't know if he was running from something, but he came around the thing, and it's like we're right here, and he's coming so fast that all we could do, I just said, "Jesus!" and closed my eyes, because, there was no way he wasn't going to hit us. Even if he slammed on brakes, something's about to happen. We both closed our eyes. I opened them. We looked at each other. I saw him driving on. I don't know how to explain to you what happened. It's like he went through us. Because we both looked at each other. I said, "What just happened?" And he said, my friend said, "Did I just imagine that?" I said, "How did he not hit us?" He said, we were like stupefied. The whole rest of the day, we kept saying, "What in the world?" I didn't even know how to explain it to anybody. It's like it was like dimensions overlapped. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like there was no room for him to go around us. Only way I can explain is he went through us. on another occasion, this is back in the charismatic days, and we had prophetess Bobby Jean Merck. I'm assuming she's still alive. I've lost contact with her. Church in the Now was birthed out of a prophecy she gave me in 1985. And I used to travel with her and lead worship, and very interesting things that happen in those meetings. There's stuff that happens in certain environments. It's not, some of it's hype, some of it's powers of suggestion, some of it is real. Like crazy snake handlers up in Appalachia. Sometimes there's real stuff that goes on. My dad has told me that when he was a little boy, they were in a church, his dad was preaching, and those old Pentecostals, when they didn't handle snakes, but they would do exploits. And he said, I remember an aunt of mine, there was a coal burning stove in the corner of the thing, and she would be up like prophesying and speaking in tongues, and she'd walked over and run her hand up and down the chimney that was like white hot, and she wouldn't burn her hands. I'm not saying those are good things to do. I'm saying there are inexplicable things that happen. My grandfather always told a story about when he was in South Georgia. I was just there the other day coming back from St. Simon's, and Pentecostals, they didn't get treated like black people did. They didn't get lynched, but they got run out of town. And he had some stuff go down. Like one night, he was in a horse and buggy. My Aunt Myrtle was a baby. They were going to preach in a brush arbor meeting because Pentecostals didn't have money for church buildings, so they built these arbors with